If you're already subscribed to me, chances are you saw my last video on my top 3 saber builds, and if you haven't, you can always go watch it after this one. With all that being said, one of my favorite stances in Star Wars Jedi Survivor is the blaster stance, and if you think Papa Crabbit's gonna just let you walk around the galaxy with a blaster that looks like you got it from a cereal box, you have another thing coming. So without further ado, today I'm going to show you 5 amazing blasters that are sure to replace the one you're currently using. Starting off with the blaster that I regularly use, the Swoop, and yes, you do have to say it like that just because it's way more fun to do than just simply saying Swoop. This blaster is by far my favorite simply because it just looks so alien compared to every other blaster out there. So if you're into that, I'm now going to show you where to get it. In order to get the Swoop, you're going to have to recruit the Jawas so they can open the building that contains the blaster. In order to recruit them, you're simply going to take the path I'm showing on screen right now. So when you reach this part, you are going to have to defeat a small wave of enemies, but once you do, a door will open in front of you. Simply talk to the Jawa, and you'll have officially recruited them to the settlement. Once you've recruited them, head back to town. Once there, you'll realize that one of the buildings will now have a fuse you can activate using BD1. Once you've done that, climb to the top of the building and connect the circuit, and a door should open just below you. Moving on to the Caij Vanda blaster. I love the design of this blaster because it makes me feel like a real bounty hunter, and it's funny I should say that because in order to get this blaster, you're going to have to defeat all 17 bounties this game has to offer. Oh no. Hey, I never said getting any of these would be easy. If you already have 16 bounties, that last one you're going to need is the one who'll actually drop the blaster, Caij Vanda. In order to start this encounter, you're going to want to head over to the Devastated Settlement meditation point, and then head to where you first meet Caij in the story. Once there, you'll have to defeat her, and once you do that, she'll drop one of her blasters. Now, I know this isn't necessarily the easiest blaster to acquire, but I do encourage you to get it, not only because the bounties are pretty fun to do, but also because you'll receive a visit from Boba Fett once you defeat Caij, so that's something. Now, this next blaster is probably the one that looks closest to a 6-shooter called the RSK-F-44. So for all my Western fans out there, this one might be your go-to. As you know, a blaster has 3 main components, and unlike the last 2, you're going to have to find each individual component for this one. But don't fret because I'm going to show you exactly where they are. To acquire the grip, head over to Pyloon's Saloon on Kobo and interact with Caij Vanda's shop. You're going to need to have completed at least 1 bounty for Caij because the grip will cost 1 hollow puck, which you get for completing bounties. The barrel can also be found on Kobo. Simply head over to any meditation point because you're going to want to fast travel to Imperial Post 8L-055. Once there, simply follow the path until you reach the chest. I'd also like to mention that I ran into a little glitch getting this part. The glitch in question made it so that the big hangar door that's supposed to be open remained closed. If you have this issue as well, what I did to fix it was close the game, restart it, and that should fix the problem. Finally, it's time to acquire the RSK-F44's body, which can be found on the Shattered Moon. Once you land, go to any meditation point and fast travel to the Republic Research Laboratory, and follow the steps on screen to finish the RSK-F-44 set. Okay, so this next one might just be the easiest to get, so if you don't want to go through a bunch of hoops for a blaster, the skeleton key might be the best one for you. If you want this blaster, you're going to head over to Jedi and fast travel to the Monastery Walls meditation point. After a bit of climbing and dashing, you'll find the chest at the top of a broken bridge. Okay, so you know when I said that the RSK-F44 was the closest thing to a 6-shooter? Well, I might have been wrong. This one definitely beats it out, not only because of its cylinder, but also because it literally has a hammer on the back. Also, this one just looks mean, which I love. Starting off with its barrel, you're once again going to want to travel to Jedi. Once there, fast travel to the Whistling Drop meditation point. When you spawn in, head in this direction and it should lead you to a ship crash site where the chest containing the barrel is hidden behind the rubble. The grip, funny enough, isn't very far from there either. Simply go back to the same exact meditation point, but this time go in the opposite direction where you should find a plasma wall with a chest behind it containing the Vindicator's grip. Finally, you can find the body at Caij's shop in Pyloon's Saloon on Kobo. Once again, be sure to have at least one hollow disc from completing one of her bounties in order to purchase it. And there you have it, 5 amazing blasters to step up your drip in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. Before you go, I'd like to make an honorable mention to the DL-44 blaster because it just looks like the Mauser C96 from World War II. The only reason I didn't put this in the list is because you need to have the deluxe edition of the game, and I definitely didn't want to spend an extra $25 just for a blaster. With all that being said, if you're new here and you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing, and don't be shy to share your favorite blasters in the comments section below. Thanks for watching.